Hey everyone, welcome back. So this is the next tutorial in the Flowlab Pong series. So what we want to do now is we're going to create the first player paddle. So we want to come down here first to the layer option and we want to go to the game world. Really simple, but very important to do that. Okay, so then we want to go ahead and click and choose create. And we're going to go ahead and change the type to player paddle. So that's sort of the category because it's set to type. And then for the name, which is a more specific setting, is we want to go ahead and call this player 1 as we are going to have this be a classic two-player game. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to go here to Edit Sprite. Now you have two options here. You can either create it here within Flowlab, and it can be as complex or as simple as you want, or you could go ahead and customize it even more and take it into another image editing program like Pixlr or Photoshop or Krita or something like that. I'm going to show you how to do it inside Flowlab here because I want to show you a couple of these other little settings and techniques over here on the left. So you have to remember that this right now is a 32 pixel by 32 pixel sprite, and that takes up one of the tiles. Okay, I know right now you can see on my screen 4 by 4 grid spaces, and that's because of this slider right over here. Grid says 4 by 4. You can click and you can drag this, and you can get now you can see there's 2 by 2, so you're getting even more. And then if you go down to 1 by 1, this is how they created this three-dimensional looking tile here, and you can get really detailed. So that allows you to do paint in greater detail. What I want to do is I want to change this to be a longer rectangle. So I'm going to click right here on the scale tool. And when you do that, you're going to see some settings down here, some sliders. And it's a little tough to see because of the blue dots, but right now it says 1 and 1. And if you click and you drag, you'll be able to see that this right now is changing the width. Okay, and so right now it says the width says 4, so it's 4 tile spaces wide. Okay, and you have to remember that each one of those tile spaces is 32 pixels. Okay, because that's how Flowlab does it. I'm going to bring this back. So this is the width. We want the width to be 1. We want the height to be set to 3. So 3 boxes. Okay, so the dimensions for this now are 32 pixels wide, or 1 Flowlab square wide, and 3 Flowlab squares tall, and that's 96 pixels. Okay, so that's 96 times, or sorry, 3 times 32. Okay, and so that's what gives us that there. Now we could go ahead and we could paint this any way we want. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to pick and do a solid color here. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab the pencil tool. And actually, let's go ahead and just grab the paint bucket tool. I'll come down here and pick the color picker. So I have an orange background, and this is where you want to think about how is your player going to look. So again, I have an orange colored background. I think I'm going to go ahead and choose a black. Say OK. And I can go ahead and I can just do a couple clicks and there we go, something like that. Okay, now here's where you have to decide if you want to go ahead and go into a program like Pixlr or Photoshop or something like that. You would come to your image editing program, you would say new image, you would type in the dimensions. You have to remember that my dimensions were, for the width was 32 pixels wide and it was 96 pixels tall. I'm going to click on create, and there is the paddle there. And you could go ahead and zoom in and you could be as detailed as you want. All right, I'm going to come back here to Flowlab. I'm going to click on OK, and there is my player paddle. I'm going to come down here to physics, and I'm going to enable is movable. Now, I don't have any gravity in my game. In the first tutorial, I turned off gravity for both the X and the Y, but for good measure, I'm going to go ahead and just turn off affected by gravity. Let's Let's see. I'm going to leave everything else for the physics sliders, density, bounce, and friction. I'm going to leave those there just like that. I can always come back later if I don't like the way that the paddle is moving. And last but not least, for collision shape, I'm going to go ahead and change it to rectangle. Okay. Go back here to properties, make sure everything is correct, and I'll go ahead and click on OK. And I'll go ahead and grab this and I'll place it approximately where I think I want it to go. Notice that I'm not going up against the edge here. I want to go ahead and give it a little bit of space here. Okay, so that's going to be it for this tutorial. I will see you in the next one. Thank you.